You're watching KATU News on Digital.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on digicast today. I think I'm a little bit loud, so we're going to change that for you. There we go. And it's May 6th on this Monday morning. We have a lot to talk about today. So one of the first things we're going to be talking about is the 90-day fentanyl crisis. We were in those 90 days. Those ended April 29th last week. And so a lot of people were wondering, what was accomplished out of that? Did we have any progress? That was sort of the talk last week, and so finally we did get a little bit of feedback on that, so I'm going to let you know what kinds of progress we had and what are the goals for the future as well. So first I'm going to bring up a little bit of video on the topic of it so we can talk about this. So Governor Tina Kotek and Mayor Ted Wheeler and Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson have given us answers. They're sharing the improvements of what is going to happen next. And here is a list of the three main things. So they're adding 52 housing units at the Clinton Triangle Temporary Alternative Shelter site. They are now leasing 7 units at the Ankeny Apartments for people who have completed detox programs. And they are expanding a pilot program with the PPB Bike Squad and outreach workers to get people into detox and treatment. Now, this has all been part of what has happened just in the last 90 days, and the next question is, what is in store? Obviously, the issue is not over. We're still in crisis with fentanyl in Portland, and so 3 of the goals that we have going forward are developing an intake facility that accepts referrals from all law enforcement and medical professionals, bringing a shelter bed tracking system online so we could track who is where and when, and creating and supporting mobile clinics that offer medically assisted treatment. So those are the goals. We'll be keeping you updated. We'll be keeping you informed on this as we progress. Now, also another topic at hand, and we'll talk about another thing in crisis. We all know that Steve Dunn has been covering this topic, City in Crisis, and now we actually have him joining us. So Steve, if you want to come on in here now, up to you on whether you want to wear the earphones or not.
You know, I feel special today, so I'm going to wear them.
Okay,
That's
good.
all right with you. I want to be part of it.
And you look cool.
Hey, this feels pretty good.
Is this your first time on the digicast?
First ever.
Oh, this is a big deal.
I'm a little nervous. I hope
Stay
you help
with
me through
us.
this.
I'm sure you're making me nervous.
No, this is great to be here. What a nice setup you
Isn't
guys
it cool?
have.
I like the lighting. It makes me look better than I really am.
This is, you know, who did this lighting? It's pretty impressive.
Actually, whoever, I don't know, but no. Probably
crack
Zach.
engineering
Who
staff.
knows?
These guys do a
We should
great
find
job.
out and then get them into the main studio,
Absolutely.
right? That's what I'm thinking. All right, so what we're going to talk about here is everybody or anyone who doesn't know, you've been doing this whole City in Crisis, so stories about what we've been dealing with in Portland for how long have you been doing this?
Well, a couple of years now, and we, as you know, the city has some issues it's going through, no question about that. So we decided to start a series called City in Crisis Finding Solutions. And it started out where we would literally take a map of the city and I would blindly point at a spot and we'd go there and do a story. And at first I thought, you know, what if we don't find a story? But I'm telling you, there's enough going on in the city right now that we always found something.
Wow.
Always found something. The only time we didn't, this was really interesting, we pointed at the map, we ended up on the west side, and so we'd pull into a neighborhood, and I'd always stop the first person I would see, and I'd say, hey, tell me what's happening in your neighborhood. This guy says, I'm glad you came out here because we have a big issue with stink bugs. Stink bugs.
This is in Portland.
This is in Portland.
Wow, who knew?
And I thought, well, I'm not sure that our viewers want to hear about stink bugs. But, you know, then again, that is their issue,
Yeah,
right?
it goes on the list.
It goes on the list. We didn't end up doing that story. But this particular story we're doing this week is such a sad one. It's a restaurant in Northeast on 82nd Avenue. And these folks have been just. We're going to show some video.
Yeah, but you can talk over this. I didn't mean to have sound.
Yeah, no worries at all. You're seeing it right there, Eastern Cafe on Northeast 82nd. And this is a former, for folks not, if they've been around the neighborhood or not around the neighborhood, I can tell you it's a former Elmer's restaurant. And so these people have owned it for quite some time. And all of a sudden, in the last couple of months, a large homeless encampment has taken over their back parking lot. Oh. And as you can see the foil on the ground there. They see the people out doing the fentanyl in their back parking lot, and clearly it has affected their business. Their walls have been spray painted. Their building has been vandalized. They've had stuff stolen. The folks will go right into the restaurant, steal stuff, and leave.
Wow.
And they claim they've called the police a number of times, and also the city of Portland, and getting very little response. Gentleman we're seeing right there is the owner, Chinese immigrants. He and his wife both work there 6-7 days a week, and now they're just not getting any business. One day we were there. We went back a couple of different days. We were in the lobby, and here's an interesting part of this too. The only way they do business now is they keep the door locked, and if they see someone come to the door, they unlock it.
Oh, no.
And so they have all their dining rooms shut off.
Yeah.
So it's really to go only.
So no one can break in and steal things.
Right.
But then that seems like it would be pretty difficult to be getting customers at all because people are afraid to go into this parking lot at all, right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. In fact, one day we were there. A gentleman came in. The door happened to be open. He popped his head and he said, "Is this place even open?" And we said, "Yeah, it is. Come on in." And he just was, "Well, I heard the food is good, but it doesn't look like anybody's here." You can see over my left shoulder there the open sign. So it is open, but it sure doesn't appear that way. I think people are just fearful of going into the business when they see what's going on in the back parking lot. Again, as we've talked about every single time we do a homeless story, we have compassion for these homeless folks. We have done a number of stories on housing and getting them housing, and the fact that we need more housing in the city of Portland. The issue here seems to be a lot of drug activity in the back. We watch some of that going on. We see cars pulling into the back parking lot to get their drugs and then pulling out. Those folks were not happy that we were there shooting video of all this. But I'll tell you, I felt so sorry for this gentleman and his wife who work so hard in this restaurant on a daily basis and how this is affecting their business. So I've got calls out to the city of Portland and also the police bureau. Find out, hey, these guys have called you a number of times. What's the record here? Why have you not shown up, or have you shown up?
Right.
So we're going to get some answers for them and hopefully get this situation alleviated.
And so you said that the city wasn't really helping, and they've already called the police. Why do you think they're having such a hard time doing this on their own?
Good question. That's always the $1 million question. And he tells me he has called, because I said, who do you call at the city? He said, I call 311. So he dials 311. They tell him, okay, we'll put you on the list. And he said, well, I think I'm already on the list, because he calls every single day. But he's getting no action whatsoever. There's a strip, and I don't know if we have that video.
The video back up. Yeah, let me get that.
If we can get that back up again. There's a strip behind the restaurant that's a sidewalk attached to his back parking lot. For the longest time, they thought that was the city's. Okay, see the sidewalk? See where it's elevated?
Yep.
Okay. For the longest time, they thought that was the city's property.
Oh.
But then he had a local realtor take a look at a map, and they realized it was his property. So they were on his property. And he's asked them to leave a number of times, and they're not going anywhere. So
yeah, it seems like it would be kind of, with real estate, if someone's squatting in your home, it takes maybe 90 days from start to finish to get them out. You'd think that could be part of the process, but
could be part of the process.
Maybe so many of these happening around town. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And again, they own it. They're a family business. They've been running it for a long time.
Yeah.
Had a lot of people going there because the food was good.
Food's good.
I'm glad we're putting up the address here, so if anyone's in the area, we want them to go get takeout, right? Help this business out.
Absolutely, there's no question. And here's the sad part about it too, is that, or one of the sad components is they have 3 grown kids, and their kids have been pleading with them, just get out. Just sell it, get out. It's obviously causing stress for the family, the entire family, for the business, and so on. And so the second day we were there last week, they had a realtor came by, and he said that if we can get these camps cleared out, we're going to put up a for sale sign and get out.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It may be hard to sell it first until they get the cams, which
Right.
is kind of a catch-22. This is all they know. They love their business.
Right.
The camps are removed so they could sell it. Well, then they want to stay then.
Right. I think they're both at. In fact, I talked to his wife, and she's at the point. Hey, I'm done. I just want out. I want to retire. Enjoy life a little bit. And I think he really enjoys his life, but he hasn't been enjoying these last several months of what's happening in his back parking lot. So, we're hoping to get them some help. No question, there's a language barrier, and maybe that's some of the issues he's having with the city when he calls in, or even the police. But so we're hoping to kind of be the middle ground for that, so that he can get some assistance.
Yeah, and maybe that could set precedents for other businesses in the same situation, hopefully, right?
Right.
I mean, that's why you're doing this, City in Crisis. And let me ask you this, too, back to that whole umbrella of the topic. I love that you guys just put your finger anywhere on a map.
Yeah.
Do people also write in with ideas? I'm thinking you're
All the
getting ideas
time.
all the time. Obviously, stink bugs, but you asked that guy in the street.
But we still haven't done that story.
We should. We have that problem in Vancouver.
If we have a slow week, we may do that in the summer. But this story here, as a matter of fact, someone emailed me and said that they're a customer of this restaurant. They said, you've got to go by. You will not believe what's happening. So my photographer, John Michael Farley, and I said, hey, let's just take a drive by and see what they're talking about. Soon as we pulled into the parking lot, I went, oh my gosh, what is going on here?
Right.
And we made our way into the restaurant. We could see it was all blocked off. All the dining room was all blocked off. And the guy comes out. He'd been in the back doing some cooking, and he just said, oh, I need help. So it was just awful. But yes, a lot of people will. We also put up a phone number at the end of each of our stories.
Oh, good.
So we get voicemails from people. Hey, come out to my neighborhood. You got to see what's happening here. So that's what we've been doing more. We don't so much point at the map anymore. We do respond to the calls and
I assumed
emails.
you were getting a lot of calls.
We get quite a few now because there's a lot happening in the city.
Well, you guys are doing a great job, too, like letting it come to light. A lot of people don't know about. You didn't even know about this restaurant. Bless that customer for reaching out so that we can try to make a difference.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I do want to point out is that, and we did a story a couple of weeks ago, in many parts of town, things are starting to improve.
Yeah, we're seeing it.
We're seeing it. And in fact, we did a story in Old Town, and someone reached out and said, hey, I have a business down here. You guys should come down and see how much things have really gotten better.
Oh, nice.
So photographer and I went down for 2 afternoons and just kind of watched it. And I will say that things have for the folks down there, the businesses, the people live nearby, they all feel safer.
It's better.
So it is getting better. And it's important for us in our job to point that out.
I agree. We don't want only bad news.
Right.
That's why people sometimes don't watch the news. And I'm thinking, coming out of crisis could be a topic, a positive one we need.
Right.
So thank you so much. And thank you for all you do just with this topic.
I'm fortunate to be here. So thank you. And you're doing a great job here, too.
Thank you.
Is this where you sing?
I wish, but I can't sing. We'd scare everyone away. Can you sing?
Yeah,
I bet you can.
No, honestly, I cannot. Well, I can, but I don't think it's anything anybody would hear.
I wish I could.
I sing one song. You know the song Feelings?
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it
in the
yet.
shower, right? Like we all sound so good in the shower.
Absolutely. What else you got here? I'm going to listen to you if you don't mind.
Please stay with us because the rest of the news is kind of fun news, a little bit lighter. So, we got to switch gears a little bit. So do you play? I know you play golf because you have this huge event you do every year. What other sports do you play? Do you
now it's all golf. I do a little bit of bowling.
Are you good at bowling?
No, I'm really not.
What are your scores in bowling?
I'm not good at any
Are you over 100 in
sport.
bowling?
It all depends on the day.
Yeah, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you're not an official bowler, yes. When you're an official bowler.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you put the spin on it? Like a little...
When on accident.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
if
the only time
I do it though, my wrist hurts after.
Right.
I feel like I'm getting old.
I know. But I will go from... Some days I'll shoot at 97 to 140.
Yeah.
And the 140, you go, what did I do differently that I didn't do when I shot the 90? And I have no idea.
But you can have just as much fun bowling on the low day
Just
anyway.
as much fun.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, the reason I asked you is because our own reporters, our head of the reporting did a story, and this is kind of interesting. I don't usually play full-on stories in here. I just kind of talk over a little video or whatnot. But this really inspired me. So what I'm going to bring up is, I'm just going to bring it up and then we'll talk about it after.
All right.
And I'm joined by Executive Director Jennifer Armister to talk a little bit about what's going on today. So, Jen, talk to me about this event. Talk about why it's so important to get these people out here to kind of see what Adaptive Sports Northwest is doing.
Yeah, this event it's our biggest one of the year, obviously, not only for the community piece and getting folks out here to see what we do, but also the fundraising piece of it, right? So giving the people firsthand knowledge of getting in a chair, how much those actually cost, the difference between a $200 pair of sneakers or a $5,000 sports chair.
For someone who's never played, doesn't know exactly how to even play the game, how hard is it usually for them?
The hardest part is probably maneuvering your chair, right? Because you're not standing up playing anymore. We put you in a chair and put you on wheels. I think the big takeaway from this is really understanding the need for opportunity.
Well, you know, I'm going to try my best to represent the best I can. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to give it a shot with the wheelchair basketball and the table tennis. I am for sure not going to do really well, but I'm going to give it my best try.
The game's called goal ball. It's played by the blind and visually impaired. It's basically, just try and throw it by the other team. The ball's got to be put on the floor so you can hear it.
My knee. Oh no. I signed the waiver. One more time.
This is, I've already lost this opponent. Oh, gosh. From trying to use my hearing to block a goal, my core muscles to be active and sit ball, I was gassed. It's my positive attitude that's getting us the points. Not to mention 2 more sports after in wheelchair basketball and table tennis. From the outside looking in, you may think this is something you could pick up on the first day. But I barely made a shot, and I'm sore. These athletes work tirelessly on their craft to perform on their respective terrains, and no matter how athletic you are, these sports take time to learn and get good at.
I love that.
That's great. That's a good story.
He got really sore from it, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, can you imagine the core work just from doing that for one day? I was very inspired by that.
I give those people a lot of credit,
Yeah, they're strong.
Absolutely, very strong.
Yeah.
Tyree needs to work on some of this.
I'm going to go there next year. That looked really
Are you
fun
really?
to me.
That'd be
I
good.
thought it'd be fun, and plus it's something you can do in the community. And the cool thing about that is it doesn't matter what age you are, they always have teams going at all times. So definitely something to check out for anyone who's blind, deaf, any kind of handicap that is out there. So just want to let you know that. Now, the next story we're going to talk about is something that I have been covering almost daily because I'm going to admit I'm a little obsessed with the missing zebra.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Right? I was
Clearly.
hoping it would just come to my house. I live in Washington, but apparently it did not.
You were on the
want to go to
lookout
my
for the
house.
zebra?
I was like, why doesn't it just come to my living room? It actually, a lot of memes were made. They had him running bases. He was, he had Sasquatch riding him at one time. Very fun. So one of the things that I want to let everyone know is that he has been found. Actually, it may be a she. Yeah, her name is Sugar. I actually don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but here is a look at Sugar, who was found really close by, actually. I want to just bring up the person who found Sugar.
I kept feeding her some of that and throwing it in front of her enough that she'd walk 20 feet farther forward, and I'd back up and put some oats down and throw her some more white bread, and she literally just walked on into the pasture.
How sweet. How sweet is that? What a great ending. Do you know what happens to the zebra now?
So she's back in Montana with the other 3. I don't really know yet why there is zebras in a farm in Montana.
I asked that question last week and nobody had the answer for
I'm
that.
going to research that.
Could you do that?
Yeah, I'll find out for you. We're going to find out because anytime I can extend the story of Sugar the zebra,
Right.
I will. And plus, everyone wants to know what these. I mean, this is an animal that lives normally in Kenya, where it's very wet or hot, but not cold. Where Montana it gets cold.
Yeah,
so I'm not really sure there.
That is such a beautiful animal too. It really is. I know a lot of people were on the lookout. people of search parties
Oh,
were going
yeah.
out looking for this zebra.
How did
So
it hide?
how does a zebra hide
It
like
had
that?
to find like beech trees or I don't know, but it didn't. It actually was right near where it disappeared. So,
So
it
this-
must have just stood still.
Wow. So this guy stuck out some white bread, some oats,
Yeah.
and kind of got it corralled.
And it was
It's-
hungry enough.
That is fascinating. Well, that's a happy ending to that story because you never know where that's going to go.
Right. That was the thing is like here I was following it and I just didn't want it to end with, it froze or whatnot. So yay, all good news there. And then lastly, before we close out our show, we have to talk about the weather. We always do this, but the cool thing about the weather today is we have such a mixed bag. So check this out. So today,
Whoa!
we see clouds, blah, 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 very exciting. But if we get sunshine this afternoon, then that's going to make a little bit of instability today, and we could get thunderstorms, hail. We may even get a few of those small little funnels, those tornadoes, but most likely to the east of the Cascades. We're also looking at about 8 inches of snow on the mountain passes today into this evening. So we actually have a winter advised warning up in the mountains. So just know about that. The roads are looking okay unless you're in the Cascades today. Now, look what happens with the next few days. We just get warmer and warmer and warmer. By this weekend, by Mother's Day weekend, we could be near 90 degrees. Can you believe it?
You know, this is, if we look at this right here, the 7-day forecast,
Mm-hmm.
this is so typical of Oregon Springs. You have 57, 30 degrees later, you know,
Yeah,
in the
within the same week,
in the
right?
same week.
Who
you're
knows?
in
You
the
could put
80s.
snow in there in Portland and it would still be a spring day here.
Absolutely. And you throw in just the wild weather you were talking about, the possibility this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a crazy,
happening. So
crazy
it
week.
happened. Springtime in Oregon, you got to love it. But
Exactly.
I'm going to be enjoying that sunshine when it does return.
Yeah, and it is good news that we actually have the sun coming out for Mother's Day. I feel like that happens every year. It just sort of warms up for Mother's Day, just for that, and then we get rain that week.
How sweet is that? A shout out to my mom, too. Happy Mother's Day,
yeah.
Mom.
Thank you
your
for
flowers should be
having
there.
him. We appreciate you. Kudos to you.
That's so kind. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the
Yeah,
show. This
thank
was
you
fun.
so much for being here today.
I want to come back and talk more about the zebra sometime.
Oh, yeah, we're going
we
to
do
give you an
that?
update. I'll have you on the show for the update.
You know what we need is a local sports team that we call the Zebras.
We could.
Wouldn't that be nice? They all wear
yeah,
stripes.
no,
and-
that'd be good. As long as they don't look like stripes like jailbirds.
yeah,
So they have to be like diagonal,
kind of
I
like,
guess,
you know,
right?
the Yankees have stripes,
Yeah,
you know?
done in the right way.
The Zebras.
I like that idea.
Great
That's
ending.
creative.
Great program, too. Hey, next
Thank
time, could
you.
you have some snacks or something?
I know. I realized I didn't give him coffee because I'm not allowed to have coffee or then I talk too fast. But next time, I'll think about the guest.
A little espresso,
he
maybe
comes first.
some chips or something would be good. I'll
Our-
be back. Thank you.
Yeah, please do come back. Now I'm going to play a little goodbye for
Okay.
us.
All right.
Hopefully, if I can find the video, we're learning a new way of pushing buttons this time. So here we go.
This has been a K2 News digicast. K2 News is on your side.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks so much for being on here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, you can see what we're all doing here, and we're always pushing our buttons by ourselves, so it's super casual.
You're doing a lot of good work in here.
Well, it'll only keep getting better. So thanks again. Thanks for taking the time to stay too.
Thank you.
Oh, the clothes didn't show up.